On your parking brake arm, there's a small spring washer that fits over the stud. Be very careful not to lose it. It must be present when you put your new brake shoe on. Go ahead and fit the new brake shoe on. Put the horseshoe clip back on using a pair of pliers and squeeze the ends together. Now you want to attach the parking brake arm to that spring near the bottom. Slide the spring back, hook the arm on, let the spring slide back, and flip the assembly up. Now take the end of the adjuster and slip it into the notch near the top of the shoe. Take the small spring we took off earlier and put it back in just like that. It goes right around and then down into that hole. Take your pliers and stretch the spring into the hole there. Adjust the shoe so that the retaining pin comes through that hole and into the brake shoe. Put your spring back on top and put the retaining washer on the end. Use your brake spring retainer tool and push it all back together, giving it about a quarter of a turn to the right. Now you take the lower spring and hook it back onto the bottom of the left brake shoe and then attach it to the right brake shoe. Slip the right brake shoe behind that small plate and pivot it into the original position, making sure that the brake retaining pin goes through that hole near the center. Put the retaining spring and washer over the pin, again giving it a quarter of a turn. Take the adjuster and rotate the end to the right so that the star wheel goes all the way back. Slip it into the end of the adjuster that we hooked onto the left brake shoe. The forked end on the right goes into that slot near the top of the shoe. Now take that large spring and hook it into the brake shoes from right to left using your brake adjusting tool. You can see where to attach it. Go ahead and put the drum back on now. Tap it in place and put the washer back in. Notice the two flat sides. They match up with the flat sides on the top and bottom of the spindle. Take the nut, thread it back on, and tighten it with a torque wrench. The torque needs to be 137 to 188 foot-pounds. Put the cotter pin ring back on and put a new cotter pin through that hole, bending the end up and over and snip the lower leg off. Put your dust cap back on by gently tapping it with a hammer. Go ahead and put the tire back on. Be sure to check your brake fluid level when you're finished.